What's going on, guys? So in this video, I wanted to talk about 5 different ways that you can make some extra money in 2019. And now obviously there are hundreds and hundreds of videos out on YouTube about, all the different ways that you can make money on the side and things like that, side hustle, startup businesses, things like that. And the way I'm going to kind of go about this one is I'm not going to just list off the, okay, go invest in real estate, go invest in Bitcoin, things like that I personally do not do. Everything that I'm going to be talking about in this video are things that I currently have actively done and I've made money off of, in the past, or I'm currently doing so. And mainly that's because at the end of the day, you guys all know I am a generic college student. There's nothing special about me. I don't have any special connections that allow me to do, certain, tasks or, go to certain events that other people can't do. At the end of the day, I'm a pretty, standard cut guy. There's nothing too special about me. So in my opinion, if I'm able to do these things, I think that just about everybody, especially watching my channel, is able to do. And that's the main reason why I think that this is going to be 5 reasons that, the generic person can just pick up and do and make some extra money. Because at the end of the day, if you're just looking for a couple extra $100, it is definitely out there and it's definitely doable. You just have to figure out what way you're going to be doing that. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Dan and this is Millennial Investing. And in this channel, I pretty much document, my ideas and my thoughts around financial topics, around college, and around different things that I think that, people should really start thinking about, to really square away, when they're young in life, so that way they can really propel themselves further and further as they get older. And so I definitely don't want to come across as being this guru or anybody that attempts to say that, oh, I know so much about finance. Because at the end of the day, I don't. But I do know enough to really get by, and I know enough to start to propel my own wealth. And so the more people that at least get open to that type of information is realistically the only goal that I'm really seeking from this channel. So if you guys are interested in any of that, make sure to stick around, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get in the video. Now, so starting off the list is investing in stocks. And now, obviously, what kind of investment channel would I be if this did not make it in my top ways to make extra money in 2019? However, I'm not going to simply just say, okay, everybody go out and invest in individual stocks and do the 40 to 60 hours a week it requires to even get 1 or 2 good investment ideas a year. That is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about for the person that is in the unique situation where you're able to save some money each month, but you do not have the time, you're restricted by time to really go out there and start a side hustle. Whether you have kids, different obligations, you have a relationship, or, you're a student like I am and you just, you're in an engineering track and you physically just cannot do anything other than just focus on schoolwork for right now. I get it. I'm not trying to say that everybody should go out there and become an individual stock picker, especially when you don't have the time to do so. However, if you are able to, generate a cushion at the end of each month, and assuming that you already have, your emergency fund and your standard savings account kind of squared away, and you've been definitely saving your money already, I would highly recommend looking into and reading a couple of books on just index fund investing. Now, what this means is that this is kind of the staple of what Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time, has talked about, that the average person, 99% of people, should do, and that is you just take your money and you look for an S&P 500 index fund and you put your money into it. And this is not supposed to make you, say, a lot of money over the short period of time, but it is supposed to generate you immense wealth over the long term. So if you have, say, a long-term time horizon, say anything above, say, 10 years, and you're not already doing this, you really need to get on that, in my opinion. Mainly because if you look at the S&P's returns over the last 100 years, on average, the S&P each year will give you between a 7 and a 9% return. And so when you compound 7 to 9% return, even just putting in $100 a month can generate you enough money to become a millionaire, by the time you retire. And obviously, having $1 million at the age of 60 versus having $1 million at the age of 30 is a very different spectrum. But this is something that if you're not doing anything with that extra money and you're just having it sit in a savings account, you're losing a lot of money and you're leaving a lot of it on the table. And so I would highly recommend you look into index fund investing. I have a couple of videos about it in my channel if you want to go check them out. And there are also a couple of books that are, like, for example, the Little Book of Common Sense Investing, pretty much explain exactly what mentality you need to have when investing in index funds and exactly what the risk reward is when doing that. And now, again, this isn't something that obviously I'm saying to just go out and do, but it is something that I think you should definitely start looking into if you don't already. Now, the next thing on the list for making some extra money in 2019 is flipping items on eBay, Craigslist, Amazon, and any other, median online that you can just buy and sell things. And so this is something that I've recently started doing. I've recently just opened up an eBay account and I've been flipping, old tech that I had. There were a couple of watches and accessories that I was able to find that I looked up online, and they were significantly cheaper than what I could just sell them for on eBay. And so whenever I find a deal like that, I individually buy it, and then I just go and list it on eBay. If you guys want, I can do a full video on how to start up selling things on eBay. It's actually significantly easier than I thought it would be. So that's actually one of the reasons why I'm getting more and more into it recently. But essentially, what you're doing is you're going to be going to, what's free on Craigslist, what's free on eBay, individual garage sales and things like that in your local area. And you just need to find, a couple of good deals a week. If you can dedicate your weekend, if you can dedicate a couple of hours after every day of work, if you can just look for 1 or 2 deals a week, you can take, like, say, a $20 investment and walk away with $500. And now, obviously, there are issues with this. Like, one, you don't know, exactly what's in your space, what's extremely profitable and what's not. So that's why I personally recommend, only focusing on devices and whatnot that you personally have experience with. At least when you're starting out. So like me, for example, I'm only flipping tech, at least as of right now. I haven't really started the, the garage sale grind like Gary Vee and things like that. Not at that level yet, but whenever I find tech that I know is trading at a cheaper value, especially on like my college's marketplace when people are just trying to get rid of extra tech for extra money, because, poor college students. Whenever that happens and I know something is like, if you have another, say, 2 weeks of time and you don't really need that money right away, that you can make, say, 1 or 2x the amount of money it's going for, those are the type of deals I look for. And obviously you have to turn away a lot of things, and obviously deals just aren't falling out of the sky, and you do have to do some legwork, but it is a way that you can make a lot of money off of a small amount of money, assuming you have time. And so this is a way that I have just been able to take. I've been able to take sub $50 and turned it into just $200 over the past couple of weeks. And so obviously that is not an immense amount of money, but for someone that, is living paycheck to paycheck, someone that's a poor college student like I am, getting that couple extra $100 is actually pretty important. Whether that means that, okay, now I can go hang out with my friends, now I can invest more money, or now I'm at least now worried about, am I going to pay my rent at the end of the month? And so flipping stuff on eBay, I think, is going to be an incredibly lucrative journey for myself, and I'll make sure to document it here on YouTube and on Instagram. If you guys haven't followed, check out my Instagram, Millennial Investing 101. I just posted about my last eBay sale the other day on my story. And if you're just looking for, I have a small amount of money, but I have time and I just want to start making more money off of it, definitely look into, flipping stuff, and definitely look into Gary Vee's, YouTube channel and Instagram, because he does this all on his own and he documents it. And he pretty much shows that, yes, I get a lot of people want to become an entrepreneur, but you can make $100,000 a year just off of doing garage sailing and flipping it on eBay, assuming you want to put in the work. So if that's interesting to you, I highly recommend checking that out. So the next thing that you can make some extra money off of is becoming a tutor or a teacher. Now, for example, if you're a college student like I am and you're notorious for getting, A's in your classes, or whether you're a musician and you've been playing, say, the guitar or the bass for, over 10 years like I have, you have a marketable skill, and you have a skill that is of value to a lot of people. So the constant example I give to people, especially around college, is that I have friends that, have near 4.0 GPAs, and they're struggling to make some extra cash. And I look to them every single, finals week, and I say, okay, there are a lot of kids that are freaking out right now. They just paid a couple $1,000s for this course, and if they don't pass right now, they're going to pretty much waste all of that money. I pretty much can guarantee you any kid that's in a feasible, standard financial situation will pay you a couple of bucks, say $20 an hour, to make sure that they pass that exam. With the mentality of people get, especially around finals weeks, whether it's, they're, struggling in a class or they missed a lot of a class or anything like that, they will pay through the nose to, finish that class and finish with an A. So that's something that I think is definitely very marketable. I have already gotten a couple of people, in my local area that have actually offered me money to, kind of just walk through investing with them and kind of, just kind of explain, high-level thinking in books that they've had like that, or different courses that they've bought online, and just kind of sit with them and really go through, my opinion on it and break it down into more layman's terms for them. And I never thought that I'd be doing that, but yet here I am. And so that's just saying, if you have any type of skill or anything that you're passionate about, if you just continue to dive into it and you just meet people that are, just starting out in that bracket, a lot of those people are willing to pay money to kind of accelerate their learning curve. And so if you have any of those skills, I would highly recommend, going down this avenue. You can even become a teacher or a tutor through your university if you're a college student, or just go help out at the local high school and, become a teacher or tutor through them and do after-school tutoring. And so that's something that, the way I look at it is that this person is struggling and they're really worried about not passing their class. and you can say, give them some of your time for, a reasonable amount of money. And in one way, they pay you, but in the other way, you're saving someone from having to go through all of that torture again. And so essentially, you're just becoming a mini entrepreneur, and you're just embodying capitalism. Someone needs help, you provide a service for a small fee, and both of you benefit mutually. So that's something that I think is one of the best ways to generate some extra money in 2019, and it's a way that I plan on continuing to do so throughout this year. The next way to make some extra money in 2019 is to pretty much get a social media presence. And so whether that is having a vlog, a blog, a YouTube channel, a personal brand, an Instagram page, anything like that, if you are able to grab enough people's attention and you're able to put out enough valuable content, you will get paid accordingly. And so obviously any type of thing on social media, because there's so many people that have access to social media and so many people attempt this route, it is a significantly more difficult, hurdle for the first year or so. But assuming you're able to do it correctly, if you look at the ROI, if you look at, say, okay, I'm going to spend a couple $100s on getting all the gear I need to at least start a channel. It's not going to be the prettiest channel. It's not going to be the best channel. But if you just, do that basic investment, and I'm imagining that most of you have a smartphone, if you just have a smartphone, you're able to do a lot of the work just up front. You can start doing selfies, you can start doing, group chats, you can start doing vlogs, you can start just putting stuff out there. If enough people start to like your content, you can just make so much money off of it, and you will have so much influence on people, and if you bring value to all those people, they'll just keep coming back to your content. So for example, one of the best examples I've ever seen from this is, if you guys have followed Jeremy from Financial Education, he started his YouTube channel. I was actually one of the first subscribers on his channel just 3 or so years ago, and well, I was at like around 2 or 3K. But if you just look at what he's built over the past couple of years, it is phenomenal. It is monolithic type of presence that he has here on YouTube. And when you look at, okay, he has developed a personal brand that he is just able to showcase his ideas, his thoughts, and the skills that he's learned over the last, say, couple of decades of stock market investing. And he is now able to say, on the last thing that he kind of estimated of how much he was making a month, is he makes about $50K a month. And now, so obviously that isn't just from YouTube, it isn't just from his courses, it's all that kind of meshed together. But can you just think about that? If you dedicate and grind every day, like say Jeremy did, for about 3 years, and you turned a brand into something that you were generating $50,000 a month off of, and it's scalable, it's extremely scalable, and it can continue to grow as long as you continue to bring value to your end users. The sky's the limit, and you can look at, say, a YouTuber like PewDiePie, and he's raking in, close to $1 million a couple months. Like, you look at Ninja, and he's making $500,000 a month. If you just can get a grasp of an audience and you can get their attention, whether it's marketers, whether it's you, whether it's courses, or whether it's just ad revenue, you will make a lot of money. The key is that you need to find something that you're passionate about. You need to find something that you can give value to users in. So that's kind of the most important thing, is that you need to give people value. Because everybody and their mom is going to be able to get a webcam and just start up like, okay, this is my new financial channel, or this is my new Fortnite streaming channel. No, you have to be passionate about it, and you have to also differentiate yourself from the rest of the herd by really bringing value to those viewers, because that's what's going to keep them coming back and keep that cycle of attention in your favor. Now, last on my list for ways to make extra money in 2019 is learn a marketable skill. And now, so this is something that is relatively interesting, and if you look at influencers such as Dan Lok, he really talks about a marketable skill, and with him it was copywriting. He was able to copyright and make $100,000 a year just off of copywriting and learning that craft. And I have a kind of similar area, definitely not as lucrative making $100K a year yet, but in my personal experience and how I developed a marketable skill is that I worked in a relatively high barrier to entry market, and I became pretty good at it, and now I am kind of on a revolving revenue stream because of it. So, just to give a little bit of my backstory, I've worked in IT for about 5 years now, still off and on. It was about 4 years of solid work, and now over the past year and a half or so, I've just been called back in to do different jobs that I've been paid reasonably well to just do 1 or 2 projects here, on a weekend or on a week that, there was a vacation or something like that. And I made a good chunk of money off of just, picking that up on the side. I don't necessarily have to say that this is going to be my, 9-to-5 job and I'm going to have to juggle school with it. No, it's at my free discretion. If they need extra help, they call me in, and then I do some work for them. So that's something that I am very blessed to have. And then also, I have done data entry and data analysis for the past 3 years. And so this is something that I think is probably way more valuable than my IT skills. And that is because I have seen many job postings, especially around the Boston area, for people to just come in and do data entry and do, converting from one data set to another, or, just create a mock-up database for small companies or individuals. And they pay, like 20 or so an hour, and they say, okay, here's a month to get it done by. Please just go and do that and then come back with a product. Like if you are really good at data, you work from home a lot, you can pretty much dedicate your own hours, and honestly, the amount of money that they're willing to pay you versus the amount of work that's actually needed to be done is very skewed in your favor. So obviously, the main kicker with all of this is that not many people are able to, just go out and acquire the skills I have learned, or that are just, this type of marketable skill. And so what you need to do is you need to find someone who is currently using these skills or any type of market that you want to be in. And you either need to, shadow them, you need to attempt to become an internship with that type of company, or, you need to go online, you need to go to a bunch of free resources and really just kind of drill your brain down and do a lot of, tinkering on your own side. And pretty much get your skills to the point where you can say like, yes, go and hire me for this. I know I'm new, but I'll pick it up, or anything like that. Once you get to that level of confidence, and that way you're like actually confident in your work and you're not just BSing them with saying like, yeah, I can set up a server, let me go and do that. And then you have no idea what you're doing, and then they just fire you. I'm not saying to do that, but I am saying that if you're able to develop any of these skills, even if it's just, over 2019, if you're able to develop one skill like this, you pretty much secure the fact that you will always have at least some income coming in. And so that's one of the reasons that I've never been freaking out about not having a job or anything like that, because I'm always able to pick up relatively high paying side jobs, even if it's just for a couple of days or so, and then my bills are paid for. So this is kind of one of the most, safety net based ways to make money in 2019, because it's something that once you have it, it's always marketable. And if you guys are at all interested in, learning Excel, learning SQL, or, just learning, basic IT stuff, let me know in the comment section down below. This isn't really focused around that, but I do have a lot of experience in that. And if you guys are, thinking about going into that, I can make a video specifically, even if it's just for like 5 of you that really want a video on, how to get into IT, how to get into data entry, how to, do anything like that. Make sure to let me know, because I'm completely fine with making a video about that, because this channel is about, just using the, the limited amount of knowledge that I have, and, just getting it out there so that way other people can start building their wealth. So that's about it for my 5 ways that I think you can make extra money in 2019. I hope you guys got some use out of it. Let me know what your ways to make money in 2019 are going to be. And thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.